Hi everyone, it's Lynette with Charmed Grammy Crochet. Oh gosh, there's a little bit of sunlight coming in, tinted my glasses, and they're dirty, and I can't see a thing. Well, there we go, that's better. I'd like to welcome you all into the yarn room today again. I changed just a little bit of the angle. I did do a little bit of work in here today. It's been a work in progress. For all of you that have been around for a while, you know that, I don't know, like 6 months ago, I started redoing my yarn room. 6 months later, still not done. When Hobby Lobby had their last clearance sale, I'm like, oh, I got all this yarn, I gotta fit. It doesn't fit. This is the smallest room in my house, and it does have a lot of cubbies for yarn and shelves, and I just can buy yarn a lot faster than I can crochet it. So I keep looking for, uh, a way of storing what I don't have room for and keeping it in here, because if it's not in here, then I don't see it. So there is overflow. And the other bedroom, we have a 3-bedroom house plus the attic where we converted into a couple of bedrooms ish. Finished the attic is what he did, and one of them, has no closet. They don't have closets up there. I don't know if you'd consider dormers, I guess. Chloe slept in the one for the summer, and at one or Christmas time, winter break at school one year, and uh, and I was going to keep my yarn up there in the other half of the attic that Chloe wasn't using, except that it has, the pitched roof, and I have more space in here. I'm like for shelving because it's taller. These are 8-foot ceilings, and anyway, I did. This is what this is all about. Um, I was watching Angela from the Precious Yarnery today. She said she finished her yarn room. She has moved an entire house across Canada and set up her yarn room in less time than I've still been working on this room. But I will say, weeks go by and I don't do anything but shove more crap in here. Uh, and then I sit down for like 10 minutes and say, oh, look, this could go here. I did get Chloe in here one day and we did some work on a shelf over here, moved some stuff around, and it was a lot better, but it's not exactly what I want. I just am really having trouble with my cakes of yarn and wasted space. And the fact that I bag my yarn and the cakes don't fit in it right. So, I mean, it's all in my head. I could fit more yarn if I took it out of the bags, but I like having them in the bags. It seems neater to me than when I didn't have them in bags. But maybe the cakes just can't be in bags. I don't know. But when I was at this local store, it's called Mark's. They have a lot of closeouts in Mark's. They used to sell yarn, that Dreamweaver yarn. If you've been around a while, you've seen it, you've heard about it, seen projects made with it. Mark's, it was Red Heart Super Saver, I'm pretty sure, 99% sure. And maybe it was Overstock, Mill Ends, and in the store, Mark Goodwin Industries is the company that owns Mark's. Um, and so Mark Goodwin Industries would buy this yarn from Red Heart. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's Red Heart, and relabel it under Dreamweaver name, produced or made something by MGI, Mark Goodwin Industries, the owner of Mark's. And it was cheap, very inexpensive yarn. And that's when I first started crocheting, is when I first started seeing it there. And I would be so excited. I would, like, every Mark's that I could go into, I would stop and buy yarn and buy yarn and buy yarn. Anyway, they always have really good stuff. I love going into Mark's because you never know what you're going to find in the closeouts. And different stores will have different closeouts. It's not always the same stuff. Uh, so my sister-in-law used to work at a different Mark's, and I would go over to her house, and she would buy stuff, and I'm like, my Mark's never had that. But she was the closeout. She wasn't a supervisor, but she worked there for 30 years. So She always had the best closeouts. I'm like, girl, you should have bought me one of those. Anyway, whatever it was, we bought a sink for the outside patio. And it's just a little sink. You hook a hose to it. It's got just one faucet on or off. But it's a sink with a bamboo, like, pedestal, not even pedestal, cabinet, made out of, like, the sticky bamboo things. So you could put stuff underneath, like your dish soap. And you could wash some stuff, your hands, whatever, outside and have a sink. And we have it in our patio. She had one too. Um, like cool stuff like that. Like, who sees ever an outside sink like that? I've never seen one since. But we've had ours for 10 years. Anyway, I was in the Mark store today, and they had these baskets. Now, this is a good sized basket. Well, I didn't take it's a round storage bin. Why, they were $3.99. I can't tell who it's made by. But look. Round bins hold round yarn really well. This one is my only cake for my yarn. But look at that. I love it. I took a whole shelf off of a bookshelf that I have, and I put it in these two baskets. I bought 2 baskets like this. So this one, and I might just get more. And this one. This is all the yarn in here, except for the sugar wheel. There's one sugar wheel, acrylic. All the rest of this is Red Heart Roll With It Sparkle. And they all fit in this basket. So I love that. And this is all of my, literally, truly, there is some beautiful from Hobby Lobby, the ice yarn sparkle that didn't fit in the other basket. And then there's mandala cakes and whatever this one is. It's not mandala. Mandala, these. I don't have a lot of those anymore. And so I emptied an entire shelf of cake yarn that I couldn't tell what it is. And if I move this, I can see everything that's in there and know what it is. And I love that. And then I can stack the 2 on top of each other and know that they're all cakes of yarn. And they got these rope handles, so they're easy to carry. You can squish them a little bit. And I'm, like, really happy with that. So then I can put... I have storage bins. You know those bins that fold up and they're cardboard? I have that you can, like, use as a stool or a chair or a bin. And they have lids that might be a little bit cushy. I have one over here. It says it holds 250 pounds to sit on it. I have yarn stacked on top of it. And then it's filled with my, like, sugar and cream cotton balls. Those little cotton balls. I can't even get to it without a great deal of work. So I think I want to take the yarn out of there and put yarn in there that I don't ever use. Or I have yarn for this blanket that I bought from AC Moore. I have a bag full of this yarn that's just been in a bag for 5 years waiting for me to make the blanket that I bought it to make. Maybe I'll put that in that bin because God knows when I'm going to make that darn blanket. And then anyway, I want to put the cotton yarn on the shelf that I just cleaned out, I think. And some of the yarns that are my cotton sugar wheels and all of that. Because they're, like, I love this cotton and things. And I have these new things. So I'm trying to figure out a better situation. But I have yarn up here in this corner that is, like, needs to be dyed. It's like the funky loopy stuff I acquired from somewhere. I don't know. And so not only do I have a space issue, but I have I don't know what to do with it issue, which is why I'm so lackadaisical about putting things away around here because I just really and truly don't know where to put them to make it easy access, things that I want to see up front, and it probably will never be done. And I could say, yes, this is exactly how I like it. Because I say, oh wait, I want this here, I want that here. And so then you go looking through your yarn, and you're like, oh God, I forgot I had that. Anyway, on to other things. I'm very excited about my yarn basket purchases. And I'm thinking, I could make some baskets to put my yarn in. And then I'm like, yeah, these are $4 and they're already done, and I can get them in there today. Because I'm making those blankets for Chloe and her friend, and that's coming first. And then Maddie wants a blanket out of all that Mako yarn or whatever it is. So Chloe's blankets. This is the purple one. I know you guys have seen it. It's done now. And I did measure it so that I could give you the measurements. And it's heavy. It has, I think, almost 3. Oh, I found an end I didn't weave in. Oh, darn it. It has like 2 1/3 cakes of the Super Saver Ombre. It has probably, or not cakes, skeins. It has probably 1 full skein of this Bernat's acrylic in the purple. It's probably 1 cake. A skein. I used 2 because I've been holding the yarn together, so it would be thick enough to be as thick as this, which was also held, the ombre yarn was held together with white acrylic. There's three complete skeins of white acrylic in here. 2, I think, are Michael's brand. I think it's Michael's brand. And 1 is, I think, Big Twist. You can't tell the difference of where one is and where the other one is. And so this blanket is, I wanted to tell you the measurements. It is, and I used a 12 millimeter crochet hook to hold the 2 strands together. And this is approximately 50 inches by 70 inches. And it's really soft and cozy, and I really do like it. And then, the purple yarns are put away because they are done. But I brought it up here to store it up here in the yarn room until the other ones are done. And it's a good size inside this Hobby Lobby, this big Hobby Lobby bag. Like, it's that full. That's not the bag I'm going to give it to her in, but that is where it is. Then the pink one is what I've been working on. I worked on it a lot last night, and I started the second skein of the pink. I think this one's called Jazzy. So this is the second skein. So I'm about halfway through, maybe a third of the way, a third to a half through that. And I can't remember if this is 2 or 3 on the white. I think it's 2 on the white. I'm not sure. I lost track of count. I lost count anyway. And this is the blanket so far. Then I'm gonna border it in a pink, and I think that might be downstairs. Let's see, that's the back. Here we go. So this is what its colors are looking like at this point. And it is that long. I have 1, 2, let's see, it started here. So I have 1 full set of repeats, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I started the 6th set of repeats of the pattern. I don't remember how many repeats I did on that, but I know I'm not nearly big enough because I haven't started my 3rd skein of yarn, so of these ombre. But I did it. It really does work up fast. I did not crochet on it at all until yesterday. No, not yesterday. What's today? Today is. I am recording this on Tuesday. So Sunday night, I worked on it after we got home from the camper. That's when I worked on it. And that was the first I pretty much the first I worked on it all weekend. I worked on it a little bit on the drive to the camper. And so I wanted to update you on that. I wanted to update you on my basket find, because now that I put the yarn in there, I'm real happy with those baskets. And I wanted to really quick mention that we started the Boggy Creek. If you didn't watch, we're doing the lives on Billy's channel. And at the time that you watch this, we should be either doing it. I'm recording on Tuesday. This won't go up until probably Wednesday or Thursday. I know 3 videos this week. Because I did a Boggy Creek blanket kickoff video on Monday. Tuesday, which is when I'm recording this, another video went out. The Boggy Creek blanket went out on the 1st. And then there's another video, and then this video. So anyway, we are collecting them, and there is a hashtag Boggy Camp 2024, so it's just a little bit different than last year's hashtag. And there was something else about Boggy Creek I wanted to tell you. Be darned if I can remember what it is. That's what happens when you get old. My memory can be about this long sometimes. I should have started with the Boggy Creek, and then I would remember. Anyway, if you're making, all of our lives will be on, at this point we're scheduling them for Billy's channel, Billy the Crafty Floridian. Nancy will be opening most everything. If it is cheaper for you to ship it to me, you can. Otherwise, ship to Nancy. Oh, I know what I wanted to tell you. It's not about Boggy Creek, though. This is just more on a personal note. We had my youngest 2 grandkids at the camper over the weekend. And this is why I did not get much crochet time in, because we were playing with the girls. They are 9 and 12. And they brought their bikes so they could ride around the campground by themselves. I drove the golf cart around with them the first, like for a little while, maybe 45 minutes the first day, to get them acclimated into where we are in comparison to other things in the campground, because I didn't want them getting lost and not knowing how to get back. It's not that big of a campground, but not all of the roads go all the way through, and if you don't know that, you could be going in a circle and in a circle and in a circle. There's like an area or 2 where you could circle through 3 or 4 or 5 different streets and not realize that you're in the same area the whole time. Just the way that some of them don't go through and some of them do go through, and whatever. And not see the big thing is you can drive through these couple of circles and not really see the landmarks that they know to know how to get back to my camper. So we drove around and we did that. Friday night they had a band, and the girls weren't real thrilled about doing that, but they did want to make s'mores, so we made s'mores on Friday night at the campfire, and we had a good time just hanging out. And we didn't get there till like supper time, and we made up beds and got them all settled in and campfire, and then we played some cards when they got tired of being at the campfire, and we played Skippo, and they really liked that. Then Saturday, they slept in, and when they got up, my husband made a big breakfast, which they love. And then they had this foam pool party. So the pool at the campground is round, and it's only 3 foot tall, but it's in the ground. but it is only a 3 foot tall pool, which this is the first time I've ever been in the pool at the camper. Um, but I took them swimming. The water was freezing. Friday night, the water was like bath water, but then it rained really hard Friday night, and that water got cold. Saturday was very windy, on and off rain. But they had this foam person come. The guy himself is not foam, but he was blowing foam. And I have pictures, which hopefully I will put up over my speaking here, if I can figure it out. But he had this, you'll see in the pictures, this apparatus that he could move side to side, and it looks like a big black sock, like a weather sock, that blows back and forth. It looks like one of those. It's kind of that shape. And there's a hose hook to it that apparently has some kind of fan or motor or something. And then there's another hose hook to it that's inside a big 55-gallon, like, outside garbage can filled with the bubbles and water, water hose running through it. And he had these two big jugs of bubbles, like his special bubble stuff, pours them into the garbage can, and then runs the hose through and blows it through the sock, and it produces bubbles like if your washing machine was overflowing with bubbles. Bubbles, 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 bubbles. The girls had so much fun, and all the kids playing in the bubbles. There was a kid with a broken leg. His parents are running him, and his brothers and sisters and cousins and whatever, running him through the bubbles in his wheelchair. At one point, the bubbles were like as tall as as the oldest of the two grandkids, and he just kept blowing. And he was playing music, so they could like dance and play. And there was 25, 30 kids there at one point, and they would get all full of soap and bubbles, but it wasn't soapy and slippery, and it wouldn't burn your eyes or your skin. It was completely non-irritating. If the kids got the bubbles in their eyes, it didn't hurt. And they would play in the bubbles for a while, and then they'd go jump in the pool, and then they'd play in the bubbles, and then they go jump in the pool. And then the wind would come, and all the bubbles would you'd see all the bubbles flying in the air, flying throughout the trailer, throughout the campground. And it was a great deal of fun. Then later on, they had a big, huge slip and slide. My grandkids didn't do that. They said they've done slip and slides many times, and somebody always ends up hurt, so they didn't want to do slip and slide. But then they had a water gun fight, and they had buckets and big containers set up in this big field that we have, and all these kids are filling up their water guns, and they had a great time. They did that. They rode their bikes throughout the day, and they were really tired at the end. We made pizzas, homemade pizzas. My husband has a pizza oven with his grill, so they wanted to make homemade pizzas, and they got to make their own personal pizzas, whatever you want on it. We had white sauce, ranch, regular pizza sauce, chicken and bacon and sausage, pepperoni, mushrooms, cheese. They like cheese pizza. All these toppings, they like cheese pizza. Anyway, they really enjoyed making their pizzas. And then more campfire and more s'mores, and they went to bed late and didn't want to get up in the morning. And they didn't. They slept pretty late. And they were tired and were ready to go home when it was time to go home. So that was nice. And I was exhausted. And we didn't, there was not crochet time with all the activities going on there. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the pictures, or will enjoy the pictures. I'm going to hopefully have pictures up throughout part of this conversation. I don't think I really have too many pictures of the water gun fight. The local fire department apparently was supposed to have come and was going to hose everybody down with the fire hose. We got there late because we were not ready to be there on time. So we were there like 20 minutes late, and the fire truck was either gone or it never came. I don't know. But it was a good time, and it was a great weekend. So it was worth not crocheting, but I just thought you might like to hear about the foam guy. If you, I don't know what they call the guy, but if you know of little kids, that would be such an awesome thing at a birthday party. The kids had so much fun with it. This was the first time we ever had Wacky Water Weekend, was what they were calling it. We've never done that before at the campground, and I hope that they do it again and just build on it because it was really a good time. Uh, that's all I wanted to talk to you about. I just wanted to show you the update on my blanket. Oh, I forgot to bring up my knit blanket. I'm all caught up on that too. Up through, I have to work on it before Friday, but I was like a week behind, and I'm all caught up through last Friday. And it's looking pretty good. I think mine's a lot smaller than Laura's from Mammy Crochet and Farming. But it's downstairs, so I'm not going to go get it. And I think she said this was the last week of the stitch that we were doing, but I thought we had more of that stitch to do, so she's the one in charge. I'm sure she knows what she's talking about. But I'll show it to you in the next video, hopefully, because I forgot about it. And that's the only two things I'm like really working on are the blankets for Chloe and her girlfriend, her roommates, and my knit blanket. And then I'm working on putting this stuff away. It's a never-ending project, but you should. Angela from the Precious Yarnery said in the video that I watched today, and I don't know if it's a video she put out today, yesterday, or a week ago. I'm behind on all my videos. Anyway, she said she finished her yarnery because she was going to rearrange or redo some of it, and she's going to show us a tour. So I know everybody always likes the yarn room tour, so be on the lookout for that. I will link her and Laura and Nancy and Billy and a Boggy Creek video from last year, from Boggy Creek camp itself. That's that camp that we're doing the blankets for. Oh, they have to be 35 to 40 inches wide, 40 to 50 inches long. And then, like I said, you can send them to Nancy, send them to me. We'll be taking them. I don't think we still haven't decided on the last day, but I'm going to say through mid-January. You could send them in so that we have them by the end of January. And we really appreciate any that we're doing. We are going live on the 2nd, Wednesday the 2nd at 8 o'clock to show the ones that she's already received because people started sending them in early, so she already has some. And I know people are sending in more, so I don't know if we're going to do the lives every week, every other week. It'll depend on how many that she gets in, and we'll probably do them on Wednesday nights. Tuesdays or Wednesdays. We'll see. And that's all that I have for you today. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, liking, sharing, hitting the buttons and the thummies and all of that stuff. And I'll see you guys. Oh, pardon me. I'll see you later. Bye.